Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. When we left off, it looked like things were going horribly wrong for us.
But then
the coat came back, and all the blood was bad, and he's getting his testimony with the blood splatter, and then everyone's like, guilty, and we're like, oh god, what are we gonna do? And then
the hero will save us.
Sherlock Holmes has come in and rescued us pretty much. He's got evidence for us too that they're being allowed to hand us. So let's go for this.
5 minutes.
5 moments.
Sorry.
Well, hello there.
Second time that's happened.
Sorry to keep you waiting, my friends. Mr. Holmes, are you sure you're all right? Of course not. It's taking all I've got just to stand up.
Oh no!
No, I did ask for 5 minutes, but
Dude.
I'll probably keel over if I take even a single second more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, Harris is like,
Okay, then can we get straight to the point, please?
Honestly, everyone here is so ignorant. They refuse to acknowledge how beautiful your science is, Holmesy.
Well, inventing is more than like a hobby. Just make things that'll help help with my investigations. I've not really taken the steps of them to be recognized by society, so that's my fault. I see. Speaking like a true celebrity. That aside, I'm here to give you this. What's this? Wrapped in pink cloth. It's a parting gift from Miss Susato.
Oh.
From Susato? If possible, I would have preferred not to have to give this to you. That was Miss Susato's request, after all. What? What do you mean? Miss Susato had foreseen this. She knew that the true murderer would fight with tooth and nail to escape from his crime. And as such, your attempts at a fair fight would place you in a tight spot. I was told to give you this. At the 11th hour. That was her message.
Huh.
Susato's parting gift.
You look so
I wonder
serious.
what's inside. This is...
Look! I made this!
Oh. I can't remember what... I remember seeing about... Oh, that's the dog door holder thing.
Yeah. It's where you
The
can...
cat door,
you can
I
make
should
a
say.
cat door anywhere.
Yeah.
Waggai! Hey, take a look at this! This is my new invention!
What is it?
I call it the Cat Flap Maker! It's my invention that creates instant doors for little kitties!
Is this so I can make an escape out of the courtroom? Because otherwise I'm not quite sure why we'd need that.
Susie want to bring this up now?
Miss Susato said something to me after that, actually. She said that she was a failure of a legal assistant.
Oh.
Huh? I remember.
Yeah.
Susato, I really do think you're the world's best legal assistant.
I could never hope to hear higher praise than that. But I'm sure I'm a failure of a legal assistant.
No! It's not true. Completely falsehoods. Mr. Holmes, why would she say that? That night when you left the shop in pursuit of those robbers, Miss Susato used this to carry out a certain plan of hers. That's your answer, Master Naruto. But what is it? Did she make the peephole? What does that even mean? Miss Susato used this on the night of the crime?
Huh. He's like, I need some wine to deal with this detective.
Uh-oh. That makes 5 minutes. We're out of time. Well, I must be going now. Off I go to pass out. Oh shit, I'm going.
Just right there. Oh, no, he's back up.
I'll stand up here for now. I do appreciate your time, dear Reaper.
Dear Reaper.
I've no need for your appreciation, detective. But it matters not. You're already far too late. Oh? Now what makes you say that? The jury's opinion is unanimous. Closing argument is possible, but I'm sure changing their mind at this point is not. I wonder about that. Master Naruto? Sir? It all falls on you now. What would you do in the face of this crisis?
My crisis.
It all falls onto me now. One misstep here and the trial is over.
No pressure.
My lord, the defense wishes to... I'm gonna say cross-examine the witness.
because we didn't get to finish that.
No. And now we have the whole
Yep.
cat flap maker thing going on here, apparently. I want to cross-examine the witness.
He's like, what?
The jurors have already arrived at a verdict. You cannot ask for a new cross-examination now. I'm not asking for a new
It
cross-examination.
was suspended.
We were in the middle of one already. What's this? How forgetful you are today, my dear Reaper.
Ha!
Hello?
Yeah.
I've been secret at this point.
Very well, the court will temporarily suspend this cross-examination. Do you object, defense?
No, my lord. I have no objections.
In other words, nobody else has any say in the matter right now. If Ryu says he wants to continue his cross-examination...
The court has no choice but to resume said cross-examination. Ridiculous.
Yes, you are.
This is the court's view on the matter. The defense's request is certainly justified. However, when the trial is continued for this long, it is the court that decides the timing of the ruling. For that reason, it will give the defense a single chance.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
We present a single piece of evidence against a single statement contained in the witness's current testimony.
A single piece of evidence.
We know the evidence, but we gotta find
Yeah.
the right statement.
Should you make no progress, the court is prepared to announce its verdict.
Aye, aye.
Do you have any objections?
As you wish, my lord. Sir! A single piece of evidence against a single statement. That is more than enough. Now then, Master Naruto, it's about time for me to keel over.
No, don't.
The rest is up to you.
I. Dude,
Mr. Holmes!
Sherlock, what? He's not even supposed to be out of bed yet. He just had surgery the day before.
And he's out.
God.
Like a light.
Running on pure adrenaline and who knows what else.
Such a high fever, and yet he still stood here as if he were as healthy as ever. Can't tell if it's his fortitude or his absurdity that makes him so terrifying.
The absurdity. He's most likely resting in peace in the waiting room by now. I'm glad Mr. Holmes isn't here to hear all this.
Yeah.
Now, defense, are you ready?
Whew. Yes, my lord. One piece of evidence to use on one piece of testimony. Iris, Mr. Holmes, and Susato too. They all gave me this one last chance. This will decide how this trial ends.
Defense, resume your cross-examination.
I don't know how exactly we're going to be like, yeah, this was a thing that happened, but...
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that I can actually say, and that we can use if we need to defend it, is that, to be fair, I was confused about the whole peephole thing, because there's...
it's not there.
There was never a hole there, which was what I was confused about. Is there one in the after picture?
No.
Oh, there is. There's a tiny little slit there. So we actually can prove that.
Wait, did you check in the other one and look up?
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we can prove that it was made.
Damn.
Remember all that time beforehand when I was looking at those two photos, looking at the door like way earlier, trying to see if there was... I'm blind, apparently, but I didn't know I was looking for a tiny little crevice, so okay. So you start fighting with the bottom workers, and then we have to decide preserving appeared in the small people in the storeroom door. Well, you know what? I say that's a load of barnacle. And I'm going to save just in case first. Exactly. This was used to create one. And we can actually prove it at some point, too. Boom.
Well, what is this strange little contraption?
It's a device that can create an entrance for kitty cats in a snap. Whatever the kind of door, you'll carve out another little door just for them.
It basically creates a second smaller door inside an existing door. It means cats can get in and out
Versus
without
theme
having
is
to
a
wait for a
bop.
human to open the door for them. Do you think I'm deaf? What kind of idiot could guess that? But I feel like there's no relation whatsoever to the murder trial. You sure about that? It feels as if there was a cat flap anywhere on that door.
I don't have a cat at home, so I can't quite say I understand.
Then let me word it a little differently. This device can create a peephole in an instant.
Well, what? A peephole?
2 nights ago, we went to the pawnbrokers right after the incident had occurred. We're accompanied by Mr. Holmes and your legal assistant, correct? Precisely. Then, my legal assistant used this at the scene.
Well, what in blazes?
If you remember, there was a peephole in that door. In fact, I actually looked into the storeroom through that peephole myself. Don't be ridiculous. What are you trying to get at? That peephole was in the door from the very beginning. I witnessed the crime through that peephole after all.
No, you didn't.
Is that really true? But what?
What do you mean by that defense?
It's time for me to go all out.
Hell yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to get at. Until my legal assistant had created that peephole, there was no way to see into the storeroom through that door. What? There you go, recover. Get in battle stance.
Battle stance.
That's absurd, you can't possibly be implying.
Uh-huh.
My legal assistant made the peephole when she used this device.
She tampered with the crime scene despite her status as a legal assistant. That is an act of vandalism worthy of a hefty punishment.
My deepest apologies. It most likely happened in a few minutes while I was looking for a police officer. But if that really is the case, Mr. Kroger's earlier testimony contains a glaring contradiction.
A contradiction? Exactly what kind of contradiction?
Mr. Kroger's so-called decisive eyewitness testimony was all seen through the storeroom door's peephole, according to him. But... However, at the time of the murder, there was still no peephole at that door. And if we keep that in mind, it was absolutely impossible for you to have witnessed the crime from the outside. That can only mean one thing. Your whole testimony is nothing but lies. What did you say?
Order. What on earth is the meaning of this?
He's gonna be like, show proof.
That claim of yours will not suffice. I'm sure even you're aware of that. Exactly. Do you really think such a childish claim would pass in court? What part of this seems so childish to you? Simply realizing that a toy can just make a door effortlessly?
Yup, it's boasts enough power to carve out any door in an instant, no matter what it's made of.
But utter rubbish, there's no way you could do something like that.
No way you could do something like that. I thought you might say that.
Huh?
Hi, come here, sweetie. Time for din-dins.
Oh my god, she did it already.
She got a hole in the corner. Ow! You see?
Oh.
Now listen here, you can't just use the crime court's door to make cat flaps.
That's probably illegal in some fashion, but
Yeah.
that isn't the only issue though, there's still more. Is that people really made with the toy or not? You have no way to prove it.
What are you saying? That's easy peasy.
What?
This device always makes cat flaps with the same predetermined dimensions to match up perfectly with the people at the scene.
Gah.
That friendly man shut right up, didn't he?
Nice work, Iris. You're a lifesaver. Perhaps it's time for you to shut right up now, exchange student.
No, you.
Your legal assistant has already returned to your Far Eastern island, am I wrong? You aren't, no. In that case, your claim is lacking one very important thing.
Evidence. Proof.
Even if that people's dimensions matched up perfectly with the device. When exactly was it made? The prosecution demands evidence.
Alright, time to bring out the 2 photos.
Well, what do you mean, Lord Van Ziet?
This is rather simple. But the people who made with that toy before or after the incident. The aforementioned legal assistant has already left and any testimony or proof along with her.
That's not true.
When was that people created the crime scene? Well, there's no proof of the answer. Your words are simply baseless conjecture.
Gonna make you eat those words. You're gonna have baseless conjecture for brunch, sir.
You're
Christ.
certainly right. Defense, how do you respond?
You can't turn back now, Ryu. All we can do now is carve our own door and force it wide open.
In all honesty, I'm not confident I can do this. But there is one thing that I know for certain. Susa is the greatest legal assistant in the world.
In the world.
In the world. Bap.
The court requests evidence, defense. Show us proof that the storeroom door's peephole was created after the crime.
Do. Boom. This would seem to be
Proof,
that
bitch.
cameo foolish detective setup.
Stop calling him foolish.
The
I
legal
will
assistant-
throw hands with this 6'4" man.
Susanoo Mikitobo really is extraordinary. That's why, no matter the situation, she was always thinking about the evidence we would need.
And that evidence is this picture.
This was taken when the defendant broke into the pawn shop. Indeed.
Look at it.
Captures the moment the heinous defendant mercilessly threatened the defenseless victim. That part's not important. Look at the door behind them.
Show it to me again, please. This is, my word, the storeroom door. There's no people in it.
Mr. Crowgray. At the time, you were unable to view the crime through that peephole, because that peephole was yet to be created. In other words, your testimony is nothing but a storeroom of lies.
Yet to be created, like your sense of honesty.
Damn you!
Oh my god.
And he's back up.
I wish he would have stayed down.
I know,
wanted
right?
To see his ugly face.
Order! Seems the defense has perfectly proven its claim. This witness has told an entirely false testimony.
How do you feel about that, Dracula?
Quite so, he has done a splendid job of proving as such. Just as he has done a splendid job of proving his legal assistance unforgivable sin of forgery. However, that is all there is to it.
What do you mean, Lord Francis?
I guess deja
Even
vu.
if this man has committed the egregious crime of perjury, we still cannot call him a murderer. Quite right. What?
What?
It's true. Was the crime scene then? And then I was shot in the arm. That is all. Yes, in fact. You should consider me a victim.
Oh, fuck off.
What? A victim? Seriously? Right now, there's no evidence that decisively proves that he's a murderer.
But, I think it's already too late for him.
Iris?
After all, once the door's been opened, there's no turning back for anyone.
Bye, Wagahai.
Peace out, dog.
Love you.
Cat.
Mhm.
Right, Ryu? Holmesy always says this one thing. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and the whole story falls apart. That's what Mia told Phoenix, remember?
I think so.
I remember because I was looking at the first episode the other day and she said
yeah,
that
that's right.
same exact thing to him. Or was that something that I wrote?
Probably you, because you're smart. No, Iris, you're absolutely right. Mr. Crowgray.
It's confirmed Godot and Mia both read Sherlock Holmes stories together.
Yeah, you've done more than just commit perjury. After all, those lies were impossible from the start. They were impossible? Just what do you mean? Within your lies, you revealed something that you shouldn't have known. Therefore, there is a fundamental contradiction within your words. What? How very amusing, attorney. Let's hear it then. Tell us more about this so-called contradiction. It's just like Iris said. See through one line, their whole story falls apart. Mr. Kroger was supposed to know about a certain something. The very contradiction caused by this is the coat's bloodstain.
Uh-huh.
Granted, the third gun thing is a contradiction. But that can easily be told away as that obviously, we could have said, oh, she dropped the third gun through. But, he could just be like, oh, I just lied about all that.
Mm-hmm.
But the coat's bloodstains, that's something he should not know.
Nope.
Because he couldn't see anything. But it was true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true that there was blood on Gina's coat. Indeed, the blood splattered positively everywhere. But how could you have known that? Well, of course I saw it through the peephole. Oh.
An idiot.
The important thing here isn't that he told a lie. It's why he was able to tell that lie. I'm afraid I fail to understand.
Of course you do.
In that case, let me ask you just one thing. Mr. Crowgray, how did you know? How did you know that the peephole on the door even existed? Really? It should be obvious. Oh no.
But whatever is the matter? Why the sudden silence?
That peephole was created after the crime. After I let out those two robbers slip away, I returned to the shop. Scotland Yard arrived almost immediately after, and ever since then, that pawn shop has been under investigation by the police. I believe I'm not mistaken, Inspector Gregson. No, you're absolutely correct. The pawn shop was stuffed full of those pledges in order to make it through them all. We scheduled shifts such that an officer was always present. So naturally, Mr. Crowgray wouldn't have been able to enter the crime scene. Thus, you shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Actually, that is a bigger thing. I thought of that for a split second beforehand. I was like, wait, if Susa did this after the crime, how did he know about a peephole in the first place?
Yeah.
And to this point, actually, he shouldn't know. He never stepped foot in the store after that moment.
No.
So someone's feeding him information.
Yep.
Gregson? It should have been absolutely impossible for you to testify about it. However, there's no denying that he testified about it. He said that he witnessed the crime through it.
Just how can that be possible?
Don't know who that is.
I beg your pardon? May I ask you something, Lord Van Zeeks? What do you want, Inspector Gregson? It's about time I give my report to the Yard. I have nothing else I'm able to testify about, so if you'll excuse me... Gregson, come on. I really wanted to like you. Don't be like this.
Toby!
You've not been given permission to leave the stand, Inspector Gregson. What? I'm telling you that you are not to be excused, Inspector.
Van Zeeks isn't having any of
Until
this
this
shit.
trial is over, you will not step away from that witness stand. Whew. Understood.
There's so
Mr.
much
Crowgray.
tension between them. The hell's going on?
I wonder if he knows that Gregson's got some part in this.
Maybe, and that's why he's keeping him there.
I mean, obviously, I think that Van Zeeks knows a lot more than he puts on because of the fact that he's been involved in all our cases since he came back. I don't think it's about revenge against the Japanese boy. I think it's about the bigger picture that we're just happening to kind of get tied into
all started
all
with
the time.
Magundal.
Yeah. So, you shouldn't have been able to know about that peephole. Which means you must have heard that information from someone else. Attorney, that claim of yours has a very significant, deeper meaning. I'm aware. The defense believes Mr. Cargo is able to claim that he witnessed the scene of the crime because he received information about it from some third party. And if I consider the clue we've been given until now, it can be no one other than...
Gregson.
Yeah.
Who in blazes was this person? Who would have given the witness information that could be used to give false testimony?
He was the inspector and oh man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Loves fish and chips.
It was you, Inspector Gregson, wasn't it? Me? On what grounds do you make this frivolous claim?
Why?
In this incident, we've only known the name Rupert Crowgray for a few hours. After all, it only came to light during the trial.
There was an hour-long recess where we hastily prepared for another testimony. Bailiff went to the city telegraph office and summoned this witness.
Before then, there's no way Mr. Crowgray could have imagined that he would be brought to the witness stand before us.
Which means that at that point you shouldn't have...
Right. I think it's safe to assume that he didn't know about the peephole. And then when he took to the stand, he learned that he was accused of being the third intruder. And that's when he was given information about the crime scene in order to give self-serving false testimony?
Yep.
Exactly. And at the time, only one person involved with the investigation was available to him. That was Inspector Gregson.
But what on earth? Why do you think I would leak information to this man? Besides, I was in the judge's chambers during the whole recess.
Quite so. He was briefing me on the events that occurred in the pawn shop.
Ergo,
There's that word.
the first time these two met face to face was when the trial restarted. It isn't concealed that they would have had a conversation while at the stand. But they did!
But they did.
Oh,
hey, I just remembered something.
what is it, Iris?
Earlier, Gene Bean testified up there, yeah?
Yeah, I remember. In order to collect McGundle's music box, an officer went to the crime scene. Oh, right, during that testimony.
They were, yep.
Something caught my attention. Crowgray and Inspector Gregson were talking about something. It was very possible for Inspector Gregson to have been passing information at that time.
But ridiculous. That's definitely all lies. Why would I, a proud inspector of Scotland Yard, have any reason to do this? There was no need for me to leak information, classified information to someone like him.
True, there'd be no reason for you to just freely give up information for nothing. But what if you had actually struck some kind of deal? Doesn't that make a little more sense?
A deal, you say?
It's simple. In return for information about the peephole, Mr. Crowgray gives something to the inspector in return.
An inspector of a yard made a secret deal with a witness. If that's really true, it would be an inexcusable breach of trust.
But, well...
Typical. I suppose you Japanese are predisposed to accusing others of things they didn't do.
Really?
What? No, we most definitely are not. You've tread too far down the path to hell now, Japanese boy. If people will not grant you passage with mere baseless claims, pay the fare with evidence. Evidence? But I don't want to go to hell in the first place.
Yeah.
What did this inspector stand to gain from a secret deal? Present proof of this deal that they struck.
Huh.
If Inspector Gregson really made a deal with Crowgray, then there's only one thing I can think of that he would ask for in return.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, this is what we finally tie everything together.
The court orders the defense to present evidence. What evidence shows what the inspector received in return for information?
Okay. So, the ways that I'm going is when it comes to the newspaper, when it comes to all the leaks. I don't know if we need the music discs and Morse code mumbo. Oh, my controller just stopped.
Oh.
Oh.
Also, I think the game froze because he's not blinking. The judge isn't blinking.
Well, no, the game locked up.
Oh,
It
okay.
did its thing where the music's still going, but the game's locked up again.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It looks like we're gonna present the evidence next time.
When things are fixed.
It's a minute shorter than usual, but that's because my computer decided it was time to stop.
It's time to stop.
God damn it, emulators.
Rip.